Hey, let's do a 3-cell run. I've been doing a whole lot of 4-cell runs lately, and I think that I really just, right now, need a run that does not include teleporting enemies, melees, having to deal with elites that have specific abilities that will malaise you up like nothing else. It's, you know, really, just a nice little change of pace. A nice little palate cleanser before I dive back into the nightmare mines to haul up another load of misery. Well, that does not mean the 3-cell mode is going to be anything like a cakewalk or whatever. You still have to have a decent build, you have to have a plan, synergies, everything like that. And that can be pretty difficult to get, especially with the way that gold and re-rolling works right now. Which is why I'm actually coming at you from post-commentary land, at least for the first half of this run. Just because it did take me more than a few tries to get a decent run going in the first place. And let me tell you, as far as a decent run goes, as far as decent runs go, a S-rank explosive crossbow and parry shield definitely up there. I mean, explosive crossbow at low stats is still a really great damage dealer, so I can definitely... If there is one weapon that you want to start out with, I want to say explosive crossbow would be on the short list. And then the plan for the rest of this run then was going to be pretty much tactics and survival, full complete split the entire time here. Try to get as much out of something like a decent survival mutation, for example necromancy or gastronomy, to give me a huge amount of regen in late game, as well as a big pool of health to fill up. And then at the same time also have the great damage potential that a good tactics run will give you. However, that did kind of go out the window pretty quick as I managed to luck into getting some very, very good tactics items right at the start here. I think that you'll start to see that at the point in time when I get to the shop in this first area. Also, hey, boy, that feel good getting hit once and then not having to worry about the malaise. Here we go. The alchemic carbine is pretty much the weapon that has replaced pyrotechnics, I would like to say, in most damage over time or heavy turret usage runs. The extra damage on a poison target is now 100%, and it's very big range, very big AoE, which helps a lot with the amount of enemies that you're encountering now. A lot of good stuff related to that. However, with only 2 tactics, it's going to be a rough start. But after this point, it'll start to get a lot easier, especially if the wolf trap is also going to get a similar sort of synergy on that. Yeah, Hokuto's Bow, Wolf Trap, Alchemic Carbine, you really can't ask for much more as far as a great damage over time build goes, even though my stats don't quite reflect the weapons that I'm taking at the moment. Aside from that, I think that the plan, even from the start here, was either one, some sort of big damage over time type of skill. We're talking Corrosive Cloud, we're talking Knife Dance, or what I found out in 4-cell mode is that Heavy Turret, for example, that one right there, are really, really fantastic builds in this current alpha, because the ability to pick up turrets and then haul them around with the Homunculus rune has specifically the fact that will stun enemies and then prevent them from teleporting to you after they've been stunned. It's a really great combination. I'm thinking that in the future, as I'm going to be not work, that the 2 main hands that I got right now are just fine. Yeah, in the future, I probably am going to be trying to work towards getting a 2 heavy turret tactics run as my main way of going about doing a 4-cell run right now. I mean, turrets have absolutely have the best affixes in the entire game, you know, minus 25% damage taken, deploying oil and poison around the turret. And the fact that it does so much damage, and the stun time, and then you can cheese out attacking enemies with the whole stunning. It's like, I think that now that the now that trying to go for a Death Orb build is no longer nearly as viable since they changed up that item. It's like, I think that's going to be the new meta for me, with an Alchemic Carbine in the main hand, just in case I don't get the 100% on, or just in case I don't get the deploys a cloud of poison as you throw down the turret. It's like, that's at least the working theory, and I think right now you can see just how effective it is, even at only 3 tactics. Oh, and also, yeah, the box. Just literally the worst elite that I could have possibly ran into. It's a good thing that I managed to really get lucky and come across a piece of watermelon down in the pit there, because, yep, I'm gonna definitely need it now. Oh, he didn't die from that fall. You know, that's another thing that's been pretty effective too, which is knocking enemies off of ledges. Not something, you know, something like a good wave of denial or even Spartan sandals can take out more enemies than you'd think. Not tremendously useful against bosses, and also not really something that's possible right now either to do. So it surprised me to see that elite didn't die from that hit there. Yeah, even though I don't have the 100% on poison target, I'm still getting a lot of damage off of the Hokuto's bow and Wolf Trap combo. And again, even at fairly low stats, it somehow was able to kill that elite, so try again. Here, you know what? This is the easiest way to do this. Even though I missed one, so shut up. Yeah, Necromancy right now is going to be my main form of healing, but it's not going to be until I get, what, 6 or 7 points of survival that it really starts to pop off as far as your healing goes. So I do want to be a little bit careful here, and stuff like getting chunks of watermelon is going to be maybe the best sort of healing that I could ask for right now. Although that doesn't mean that I'm not going to try to kill every single enemy that I come across if I know that I can do it easily. And also, you can see me, I'm still taking a lot of survival when the opportunity presents itself, just because I am still kind of holding on to the torch of maybe this turning into a survival run. After all, if you get the right sort of colorless or legendary weapons, which, well, the amount of curse chests that I was planning at the very start of this run to be opening up, does make that something of a possibility. At the same time, though, hey, it's also giving me a lot of benefit to take it for the Necromancy, so I shouldn't be giving up on it for just a raw HP just yet. Think about the future and all that. The only other area down there would go to the prison depths, which, I mean, doing a whole bunch of 4-cell runs, I realized, only actually gives you 2 extra scrolls. There's apparently only 1 curse chest down there, and then 1 scroll that you'll find, yeah, sure. And only 1 scroll that you'll find floating around on 1 enemy around you. So I don't really think it's tremendously worth going down there, you know, dealing with all the foggers, and in 4-cell mode, lancers, and lacerators, and all the various enemies that are horrible, just absolutely terrible to fight. Kinda picking and choosing what mutation I want to take. Yeah, I said, you know what, if I'm gonna get... I have healing mostly covered by Necromancy, or at least by the time that I get out of the ossuary, it should be entirely covered by Necromancy. So maybe I can just make being cursed easier on myself. I mean, I already have such a ridiculous ranged type of build that it's probably, you know, an extra 5 enemies is probably not going to make that much of a difference if I play this carefully. But hey, never, you know, ounce of prevention, pound of cure, etc. Also, yes, I did take the Wave of Denial, mostly because I wanted the 2 extra points of tactics right now, but like I said, knocking enemies off of ledges and stuff like that is a pretty effective way to kill dudes right now. Not as good if you're not in 4-cell difficulty, because you can't get enemies to teleport to you on a little precarious edge and then hit them off. So it's a bit more limited. That said, I also forget about it roughly half the time that it could be useful. For example, that the area where I was trying to get into that gold door there, but still. So many unnecessary risks I'm taking here. I guess after doing about, like I said, about a half dozen runs or so, I was ready to play it a little bit more fast. Also, yeah, throws down inflammable oil, wolf trap. This is a really great damage over time build right now. Even though, also nice elevator kill there. That's always fun to get. But yeah, even though I don't really have any sort of synergy with fire in particular, the fact that I'm getting oiled up fire means that it's going to be pretty effective, even if it doesn't have, you know, the plus 30% on burning targets, for example. I mean, oil is sort of its own reward in a lot of ways, which is why prior to the alpha coming out, the fact that it also was the de facto plus 100% damage affix that you would get on items was just crazy to me. Like, it doesn't need that many more advantages. It already has oil, something that you can apply to a modifier, a debuff that you can apply to an enemy that already buffs up fire as it is. Then it also gets all the, it's like, gee, fire, why do you get everything and everybody else gets nothing? Okay, anyway, dealt with this shocker extremely poorly, mostly because what I was trying to do was, like, be very... I'm actually not entirely sure what I was trying to do. I think I was just panicking because I was getting hit by a shocker at that point in time. So hey, here's a point in time where I'm probably going to enter into, at least if given the chance, the food shop and curse myself by taking a chunk of watermelon. I mean, also I think that I might have forgotten that I did take acceptance right now, so I was thinking, oh, I'll be totally fine anyway. Don't even worry about it. Still trying to avoid using as many potion charges as possible, just because they are very, very valuable here, and I haven't really played enough 3-cell difficulty to know how enemies are going to be, how hard enemies are going to be hitting late into the game. Because after all, it could be that even if I manage to get a ton... Oh, great. Good thing I went all in on tactics. But, yeah, even if I have like 20,000 health, I might be doing like half my health in a single hit by the time I get to the castle. Yeah, I was seriously considering going for survival there, but decided not to. I think I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get into the live section of the video. But anyway, regardless, I think that this should be a good enough build to beat the boss. I mean, in general, the huge range, huge damage over time, don't really have to worry too much about the incomplete one if you can manage to stay away from him the entire time. And this should be more than good enough to deal with that. But until that point, I still have a curse to deal with. You know, as much as the game doesn't want to tell me about it. And every single time I get near any one of these enemies, I keep expecting them to teleport directly to me. Oh well, better safe than sorry when it comes to being cursed. Let's just say that. Because you can never be too careful when your life is on the line, y'all. Barnacle, Crusher, Explosive Lure. Explosive Lure should actually work in this difficulty. In 4-cell mode, the second an enemy starts teleporting to you, they never lose sight of you, so even going invisible does not matter on that point. But something like the Barnacle could have been a decent addition to the roster of weaponry here. I don't really need the flamethrower right now all that much. It's not really giving me too much extra damage. I mean, it's giving me a decent amount, especially when working with the Wolf Trap and Hokuto's bow, but just pure big hits might be more worthwhile. Oh yeah, did you see how I got hit by the Slimeling there the second that my biters opened up that secret, the secret wall rune? That is a really weird... I'm assuming it's a glitch. I have no idea. But when a wall rune is broken, or when you get hit by a particularly large hit, for some reason your character just stops or continues walking in a direction or something like that. You lose control, and I don't know why that is. It's something that nearly kills me a couple times later in the run too, so I hope that's something that's fixed soon, or there's some sort of explanation that I'm just not seeing as to why that would exist. I don't even want to move there. That was a stupid idea getting cursed there, but I kind of felt like, I really do need the healing right now. And it's not going to be too difficult to take out these enemies. Maybe. If that slash decided to start swinging, I might have been telling a different story, but he didn't, so I won't. Oh, come on. Just right over the shocker? Like 3 times? Oh, well. Even if I survive, I still am getting a pretty decent amount of usage out of the necromancy mutations, so not too worried about not having enough health for the upcoming fight. And still, there should be somewhere around here a food shop if I want to risk getting cursed again. Which, you know, I probably should have just waited until I found that before doing this, but hey, I didn't think of that. So, let's get going here. Oh, and there's a food shop right now. Great. Perfect. Awesome. Amazing. No, I'm sorry. I was just practicing my Francis York Morgan. Yeah, there we go. Impression when he gets a headshot. I almost forgot there again. Anyway. Yeah, it's the great thing about damage over time. Very set and forget. That said, it didn't stop me from getting hit there, so don't want to forget how to play the game. Let's just say that. And a couple more hits here, and I realize that this is not actually the area that I want to go to. Apparently, if I kept going down way on the lower portion of the level, that's actually where the exit is, which was not at all clear. Don't really see generation like that. Usually if you have one of these big open areas, it doesn't open up on the bottom. Or I usually find that, or something. Well, anyway, one prolonged healing giant hallway later. Because it's the hallway where you get the prolonged healing blueprint. I realize as I said that, it's like nobody's going to know what you're talking about if you don't clarify that. Let's go and switch back to live commentary. Okay, and now on the first boss here. I think I got a pretty decent build going. I mean, it's like I was seriously considering there to trying to get the just going fully into survival, but then I realized that there's a lot of really good options for, of course, there's a lot of really good options for other tactics-based items, specifically if I was going to go for the heavy turret. So I think that the choice to continue going on with tactics was definitely the right one. Although, really, time will tell. Unlike the post-commentary that you just heard, I have no idea what the future brings. And I'm sure my confidence right now will be changing later depending on what's going on. So, let's keep a lookout on that. As of right now, though, another free legendary item I'm definitely not going to turn down. I would still really like to, if possible, go for... Yeah, that ain't happening. Yeah, I would still really like to, if possible, go for a couple heavy turrets, maybe over the wolf trap, but the wolf trap is still something that is buffing up my alchemic carbine quite a bit. Legendary alchemic carbine. Didn't really think that I was going to be getting that, but definitely not something that I'm going to be turning down. What do we got? Invisibility. Oh. Alright then. I don't have to do anything more to convince me. And then you. Perfect fight. Giving me... Alright then. Okay. And also Shotzi Trail of Flames. I don't think I'm going to be That would actually be something to consider potentially using with the heavy turret, but no. Nah. Mostly because just because I would be getting a little bit of extra damage if I decided to take the wolf trap instead, just based on the fact that I'm getting an extra source of damage over time. But I think that what I want to do is I want to potentially try to, I don't know, level up the alchemic carbine. Should probably re-roll the heavy turret to get extra damage on poison. Would probably be the best idea right now, which I definitely did not do. Whoops. Oh well, whatever. There'll still be a lot of times that I'll get enemies nice and... I'll still get enemies nice and stunned up just using the heavy turret over and over. Alright. There's supposed to be like a cursed chest or something in here. Kind of looking for that one right now. Alright. Hey, extra. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, it's not worth it, not right now. It would be much, much better to just continue on the course that I'm doing right now and then have that work out for me. I mean, the thing is, it's like the 100% on poisoned. Another source of damage might be something to replace the... flamethrower turret with, which, as good as the flamethrower turret is, especially with the ability to get the oil on the ground, I just don't think that it's worthwhile comparatively. Okay, this will be where I stake my claim. Roll right through there, and we're good. Very nearly got killed by an errant cannonball, but I didn't, so who was truly incorrect in what I did there? Do I have to remember that not to accidentally curse myself by taking food again? Something that did happen earlier to great embarrassment. However, this is worth remembering just as an emergency in the future. We'll see if that ever comes up, but worst comes to worst. That's my ace in the hole. Good job there, you stupid idiots. Yeah, without enemies teleporting around, this becomes even more powerful of a combination that I could use with pretty much any turret in the entire game. Something to think about. Obviously not going to be coming up too much right now because my primary damage will melt these guys so handily that I don't really need to do any sort of subterfuge to try to kill them right now. Alright, let's go. Surprising that I still only got 12 tactics. I guess that's kind of being picky and due to me being kind of picky and choosy with the items that I'm taking more than anything else. If I just decide to go all in on... Hello. If I decide to go all in on trying to get as high a level of tactics scaling skills as possible, I would probably be doing much better in terms of that. Yeah, one thing that I would definitely like to do is keep my kill count going if possible. Which with all these cannonballs being thrown around here, feels like it's getting harder and harder to do. Alright. And there it is. Well, so much for getting to 60, but that's fine. I'm not as concerned about that. This is definitely a run that I'm going to want to take down to the Sepulchre, just on the basis alone that I need as many stats as possible. And it's a bit light right now. That said, the fact that I barely got hurt at all, taking a full cannon blast to the face, says that this is a run that's working out quite nicely. Next thing to look at is to see how many more curse chests that I could get. and then go from there. Well, obviously, also the other thing to do right now is to go get the key, which I've kind of been putting off for some time. Let's go. Yeah, getting a powerful set of turrets seems to be the way to go since they nerfed Death Orb, and it's kind of questionable to get very specific items like an Aura of Laceration. So I think that that's definitely going to be the way that I'll be approaching a lot of future runs from now on. It just feels like common sense considering how well this one is working out, as well as some of the other ones that I've looked at so far. Obviously, if I can get invisibility after 5 seconds, that necklace... If I can get that necklace modifier, that will be all the more useful, but... what's the likelihood of that happening with any sort of regularity? Not a curse chest, so whatever. Tons of healing. Another wolf trap if I wanted to take that, but I don't. All works out just fine either way. And Necromancy plus Dead Inside is a very potent combination, even if I'm not focusing on survival as much as I possibly could. I mean, with 2 very good tactic scaling legendary normally tactic scaling legendary items, this would be the time to go for maybe a bit trickier of a play, all into survival, but it just... I get the distinct feeling that I would regret that if I decide to go for it, so... just because there's so many other good options as far as survival... or tactic scaling stuff goes. Yeah. What you got? 181 damage per second for 4 seconds. Lose out on the combo. I mean, I guess if I was going to go full on into tactics, that would be the one to take, but... or full on into survival. Man, I don't know why I don't know why I can't do things. Oh, right. Okay. There's tons and tons of clouds of everything to drag every single one of these enemies through, makes taking them all out en masse easy. Didn't even need to... I mean, obviously, also being invisible means that I can set up some of the kamikaze bats for easy curse removal very simply. Now, do have to remember that these guys do see through invisibility, though, so gonna have to be a little bit more careful with this. I want to... I mean, there's always that very small amount of lag time after you open up a curse chest, and that would kill me if I had all of those things active there. Even though it would be a very easy way to take care of the curse. Oh well, that's fine. Here. Oh, right. Like this rune doesn't work. And there's 4 at least. Just very, very careful right now until I get my invisibility back up. And then we're going to use that to take care of business. Take care of biz nasty. Stop firing off cannonballs and just accept your fate. Hey, despite getting hit... Alright. Any more cannonballs coming, or are we good? Yeah, those guys sniping me from off-screen has been a real issue with some of the runs that I've been doing. For example, this one, right now, with how it's been working. Okay, there we go. Alright, that's also the last cursed chest in this area, so I don't have to worry about stupidly dying to that anymore. Unless I really want to and go or actually go back to the shop and grab a piece of food to curse myself with. I mean, that always remains a possibility. Or just finding a cursed sword somewhere. I'm sure there's one hanging around. There's always one just on the peripheral of your vision, ready to kill you. Also, you know what? I'm not even going to potentially get myself hurt from that. I'm just going to take care of it right now. Yeah, 100% damage on poison target is going to up the heavy turret tier list-wise to just kind of an insane degree. Hi, guys. As great as turrets are, the fact that they still draw enemy aggro is always something of concern. 52. Come on. So close to getting the... Well, actually, both of the doors open in the next area, which would be fantastic. Would definitely like to have a huge amount of gold if I'm not taking any one of those items, so... something to go for. Alright. Now I feel a little bit more confident in taking out you guys. And okay. Hey, there's 60. Get that nice little golden skull graphic, which I see pretty rarely considering how I tend to play. Let's go. Down into the sepulcher. Like I said, I want to be at least... Let's say I'm going to get up to 20 tactics... and then pour everything else into survival, make sure that regardless of what sort of big hits that I'm taking, I'm going to be able to recover from that. Don't have to worry about melees, so healing is more of the concern. I could also maybe just get rid of alienation and then switch that out for, I don't know, something. But I haven't re-rolled my mutations yet, so that should at least... There we go. That should at least leave it open for, you know, a cheap-ish reroll right now. Let's sell it, because there might actually be another cursed chest or two in here to go for. And it would be pretty easy to... get rid of a mutation if I have invisibility. Because after all, those kamikaze bats kill themselves, making it pretty easy to get rid of that if you don't activate them, or if you can prevent yourself from activating a whole bunch of them. Alright, first off, no. Ah, interesting. Also really expensive now to re-roll this, great. It's too bad. Alright. The idea was that I was going to go for 100% on poison target and then upgrade the thing, but too expensive. And gold, it's still quite the difficult thing to take care of in this current alpha. Hopefully a lack of the right... a lack of having the right sort of modifiers, affixes on stuff isn't going to be the thing that kills me in the end. That's to be seen, though. After all, no one knows what the future... Oh, please don't die to freaking darkness right now. That would be very embarrassing. Oh well, with the amount of enemies around here, I should be able to recover pretty easily. Anyway. Yeah, 69 nice % health after enemy kill. Even at fairly low levels of survival, well, the amount of enemies they're throwing at you in some of the higher level difficulties right now, you can... Necromancy is worthwhile. Also, man, it's a surprisingly long area to go through without having any ability to heal, or without having any ability to get into light. Ugh. And somebody leave a comment that said, oh, he never pays attention to the whole darkness mechanic. Yeah, that's because you don't need to, like, 90% of the time. What's the modifier on this dude? Doesn't matter, whatever. Nah, I'm gonna stick with the invisibility. Like I said, easy curse clear, which I might be doing right here. I don't remember what's in these doors, to be honest. Ow, perfect. Been dead like 10 times over to melees right now, so again, another reason why I'm glad that I'm not doing this on 4-cell difficulty right now. Okay. Yep, and then that momentary pause time. Always got to compensate for it. Very annoying. And then let's just go all up into this for the time being. Because I did see right over here, there's a couple bats all ready to be dealt with. Just need this. And alright. And one. Oh, that's it. Don't even have to worry about it. Damage over time builds. Don't even have to be anywhere near them to be able to have them be usable. Definitely one of the biggest pluses that you get out of that. It's the same sort of reason why the Death Orb was essentially just like a walking damage over time dealer. Is one of the things that made it so good. Just set it and forget it. Alright, where am I going? And I still don't know if the doubling up on keys glitch is still in the game. I mean, I was never able to get that to work in the first place, so I guess kind of hoping that I'll get it now is kind of a ridiculous sort of idea. But still, it would definitely make doing the Sepulchre... Okay. Bleeding causes poisoning... Yeah. I mean, the poison, as nice as it is, now I can deal a whole lot of extra damage. And I do think it's going to be a higher level than I had it at before. So, I think that in reality, I was thinking maybe going for... Well, there's a number of different mutations that I could have gone for. Now just get double ammunition, no question. Yeah. And also don't lose out on any of the synergies that I could have possibly had before. Nothing here really worthwhile. 30 kills, so somehow I really doubt that I'm going to be getting 60 in the next area. I suppose we'll see. Who knows? There's always a potential. Yeah, it's always a little bit slow making sure that you, It's always a little bit slow making sure that you have enough healing when it comes to a sort of low-ish level of necromancy, but can't argue with the results as far as keeping you healthy. It's a lot less, it's a lot more consistent than hoping for a piece of food or something with gastronomy. And even though stuff isn't malaised up right now, you do have to remember that a lot of the stuff that you eat on 4-cell mode is just not worth it because it doesn't only... Because it does heal you, but it also adds points of malaise, which is always not a great thing. Okay, I'm a carbine. Don't really need that right now. Saving up all my money to re-roll the heavy turret when I get into the next area. I mean, just 100% on poison. 100% on poison if I could combo that with... Okay? If I could combo 100% on poison with 60 on bleeding, that would be the ideal sort of turret to be taken into battle right now. And I am about to be coming up against a boss after all. So I require my strongest turrets. I'm very glad that I have invisibility right now. That's where the stall time really comes in handy. Can't take that. Curse me. And I'm probably starting to run out of enemies to kill at this point if I did accidentally curse myself. Toxic Cloud. That would be pretty nice if I didn't already have so many other ways to get poisoned. And you do always have to remember that it is kind of questionable what you're actually going to be getting for modifiers on stuff. And I have gotten very, very lucky, at least this time out. But hey, what am I going to do? Argue with it? Absolutely not. 4-cell door ain't happening. Yeah, I gotta ask if there is still the... Minus 25% damage when near it? Ah, screw it. I'm not really going all that much into damage over time build right now anyway, so that'll work out just fine for me. Alright, still don't have the key, so I guess I'm going up here and to the right. Kind of a bit windier of a sepulcher than I've been used to lately. Yeah, it doesn't have quite the AoE that... Knife storm down there? Nah. It doesn't have quite the AoE that I like seeing from the Alchemic Carbine, but can't argue with results. I mean, this is also more of a damaging weapon than a... synergistic enabler like the Alchemic Carbine. So, can't really expect it to be very powerful in regards. So, it's like this should be doing more primary damage anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright. There's the key. 60 kills, which apparently I passed at some point without even noticing. So that's great, at least. And I think the time doors are pretty much done at this point in time, so I'm not particularly concerned with hitting any of those. Could probably easily go for the double tracker fight, and I will. Yep, that's some good damage. Alright, and that's also a little bit of extra money, which will be pleasant when it comes to re-rolling stuff, of which now I got 2 mouths to feed in that regard. I don't want to get rid of the minus 25% damage taken, but hey, you do what you gotta do after all. Let's go anything of interest. Then what's the highest price item here? You. Only got 20,000 gold. Boy, did I spend a whole lot getting this last time. There you go. That's good enough. That's really all I need. Yeah, throwing knife, 512 DPS, not very good, but it does get 100% due to it being poisoned, so hey, that's nice at least. Oh, it might be worth getting rid of that legendary... The legendary heavy turret, just because it costs so much to re-roll at this point in time and isn't really giving me what I need. I was a big fan of... Oh, that was stupid of me. It was also stupid. Definitely got to remember that if you take a big hit, you kind of lose control of your character for a couple seconds. Oh, I didn't even notice, but does the, oh, wait, what? But, yeah, I didn't even notice, but it seems like the shuriken she throws out now, pierce through turrets, which is too bad, because one of the helpful things about bringing turrets into this battle was that they would block those shots. And I swear I was getting hit even through that. 36,000 to... Or, not that. It's actually almost as much to just upgrade this as it is to re-roll this. Yeah, if I get the chance, that one's going to be dumped in the next area. Although first... Yep, 50,000 now. And then 100,000 for the next one. Always the best sort of... I really do not know why it costs so much to re-roll stuff now. Like, why does Motion Twin want you not switching out stuff? I mean, I guess you're like, well, I mean, what do you need to heal from food or something? Just switch into doing Dead Inside every single time you're about to go into a boss. But that's the only thing that I could think of, the only reason why you would possibly do that. And it makes it so that you are very committed to a build. You can't really... Ah, dang it. Alright, big hits cause you to continue to walk forward into spikes for some reason. I swear that is some sort of glitch, because it wasn't until this most recent patch that started to be a thing. Weird, stunning shenanigans related to that. Oh yeah, I should also remember that I am, in fact... There we go. Should also remember that I am, in fact, invisible right now. I still have that necklace going on. And that will actually make getting through these areas really trivial, because I don't care as much about, don't really care as much about, getting stats or items at this point in the game. Yeah, get out of here. Do want to make sure that if I do have the ability to kill enemies easily, I can, just because I do get a pretty substantial amount of healing on that. Well, there goes one turret. Actually, no, it somehow didn't. Oh, no, there, now it's gone. Well, it served me valiantly, but unfortunately, not enough. Hey, come on. I'm glad that he got stunned there, because otherwise that could have been a very bad hit. Alright. It's pretty good damage, though. At least I'm getting off of that. Alright. Anybody else? Why don't I just do this? Yeah, just keep walking into the spikes, or getting hit into the spikes from me. Oh. Okay, whatever. That's another easy kill, if nothing else. Stack up a whole lot of bleed damage. Slowly. And there we go. Already up 1,000 health. I mean, really, I should just be doing this the entire time. It's not like it really costs me a lot to get this sort of strategy working. Oh, even when your pals are finding stuff. Yeah, it's like even when your biters are finding stuff down there, it still freezes you in place, which, considering that's happening off screen right now, is a harrowing experience. Man, this is so cheap. Can't argue with the effectiveness, though. I mean, without the ability for enemies to teleport you, and even if they did, they would be getting stunned too much to be able to do so. It's real good. Alright, let's go. Already up a lot as far as health goes, so I'm not tremendously worried about that. And also, if I find food now, I can actually use it, unlike previously. So that's going to also be another thing to remember. For example, you, which I will not even use right now, but keep just because that is so much health heal. Dead Inside definitely being a very effective, definitely being a very effective right now. Come on, stun him, stun him, stun him. Okay. Oh, hey, the Philosopher's Stone. You rarely ever see those things, but that should probably be enough to get all of the synergies that I need, or items from shops. Extremely rare to see that thing. I've seen, like, what, 3 times or so since I started this latest patch. But, man, that's a lot of gold to get. Let's go. Still that Minotaur scroll up there that I'm going to have to go grab if given the chance. That's good. And I'm only missing the, Alchemy Laboratory now, so if I can find that one, that will be all 3 keys. Ah, trying to get me through there. Don't snipe me through there. Alright, alright. Plus 200% damage, I mean, it's like as opposed to that, which, aside from being legendary and having that beautiful yellow glow, isn't really doing me much else from what would just be a normal turret, so get rid of that right now. The gold, I mean, just because it's a shiny turret doesn't mean that it has better EVs after all. Okay. Still don't know where the entrance to the other thing is. Ah, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. It's like, yeah, I could go try to get all 3 keys, do a full exploration of the place, but let's just lock in this win right now, because right now I'm feeling pretty good. So I feel like I shouldn't squander this run just because I can. Let's go. Boy, things are really expensive these days, aren't they? Oh well. No 100% on poison, but I guess I'm just gonna have to live with that. Don't really have too much choice in the matter now, do I? And even getting a Philosopher's Stone was... Ugh. Alright, let's go. Damage over time builds. And although this technically isn't a damage over time build for the most part, it's like always pretty effective on this dude. I'd like to say that was pretty good. And I do get a little bit of... Ow. Alright, come on. Stop doing that. I want to win this run. He still does quite a bit of damage, even with the ridiculously huge pile of health that I got going on. Wow. That's a good combo.